So the next point is what is the normal physiology of cortisol. क्लिनिकल पिक्चर ऑफ कुशिंग सिंड्रोम को समझने के लिए ज़रूरी है कि हमें नॉर्मल फंक्शन ऑफ कोर्टिसोल पता होना चाहिए, क्योंकि कुशिंग सिंड्रोम इज़ हाइपर कोर्टिसोलिज्म, सो ऑल द फंक्शंस आर एग्जैजरेटेड इन कुशिंग सिंड्रोम. So how can you remember? First is the effect of cortisol on blood glucose. Cortisol is responsible for decreasing the glycolysis and increases the glycogenolysis, मतलब breakdown of glycogen in the liver. So due to breakdown of glycogen in the liver, it will causes the movement of glucose into the blood. Secondly, it is responsible for gluconeogenesis. Now what is gluconeogenesis? Gluconeogenesis is the synthesis of glucose from some non-carbohydrate source, for example from free fatty acids, from amino acids and from lactic acid. So cortisol is responsible for increase in the breakdown of the triacylglycerides are present in the adipocyte. It will increase the activity of lipases and leads to the breakdown of triacylglyceride and produce free fatty acids. These free fatty acids will appear in the blood. From here they are taken up by the liver, and by gluconeogenesis they are converted into glucose. Other function is that the cortisol also decreases the uptake of glucose by the tissues, especially adipocytes and muscles, by decreasing the activity of GLUT4. High level of cortisol will decrease the activity of GLUT4 and hence decreases the uptake of glucose by these tissues, for example adipocyte and muscle. When tissues cannot utilize the glucose, there will be breakdown of triacylglycerides into free fatty acids. So as a whole we can say that cortisol is responsible for increased mobilization of free fatty acids from the adipocytes into the blood. So serum level of free fatty acid is increased, which is taken up by liver and converted to glucose. Another point is that breakdown of protein in the muscles leads to the production of amino acids. These amino acids are transported into the blood, taken up by the liver and are converted to glucose. So this is also the gluconeogenesis. So what is the effect of cortisol on glucose? That it increases the serum level of glucose by antagonize the effect of insulin by gluconeogenesis. It will lead to increase in the serum level of glucose. Other is what is the effect on lipids. As I already mentioned that cortisol inhibits the uptake of glucose by the tissues, for example adipocytes. When adipocyte cannot uptake glucose, there will be breakdown of triacylglycerides into free fatty acid. Also it increases the activity of lipases, which will cause the breakdown of triacylglycerides into the free fatty acids. So it will increase the mobilization of free fatty acids into the blood, and hence the serum level of free fatty acids is increased. So it causes lipolysis. The third point is what is the effect on protein. As I already mentioned, for gluconeogenesis, it is responsible for increase the breakdown of proteins in the muscle and leads to production of amino acids. These amino acids then enter the blood, taken up by the liver and converted to glucose. So for the production of glucose by gluconeogenesis. It is responsible for breakdown of protein to amino acids, and hence there will be breakdown of or destruction of muscular protein for gluconeogenesis. Now what is the effect of cortisol on immunity? It is मतलब एग्जैक्ट मैकेनिज्म तो पता नहीं चला अभी तक, लेकिन it is thought that the high level of cortisol is responsible for causing destruction of the lymphoid tissue. When it causes the destruction of lymphoid tissue, it mainly causes a decrease in the serum level of T cells. And when the level of T cell is decreased, T cell are responsible for the activation of B cell. So B cell will be decreased, and hence there will be a decrease in the level of antibodies. So they are making the person immunocompromised. Secondly, there are also anti-inflammatory. They are also anti-inflammatory. There are various mechanisms that are responsible for the effect of cortisol on anti-inflammatory function. Some are, they decreases the migration of lymphocytes. They decrease the migration of lymphocyte to the site of inflammation. They are causing they make the lysosomal membrane stable, causing lysosomal stabilization, inhibit the production of various cytokines, for example interleukin 1 and tumor necrotic factor, which are the main cytokines involved in inflammation. Second, additionally, they inhibit phospholipase A2 enzyme, and hence it also decreases the production of an important cytokine or mediator, or an important mediator in inflammation, that are prostaglandins. So it also decreases the production of prostaglandins. Now what is the effect of cortisol on blood vessels? Cortisol increases the sensitivity of blood vessels for the catecholamines. Okay, it increases the sensitivity for catecholamines. What is the effect of cortisol in brain? Cortisol has some receptors in the brain which are responsible for the control or control the mood. So the receptor in the brain are responsible for mood stabilization or controlling the mood of the person, and they are also inhibitors of GnRH. So these are some functions associated with cortisol, that they increases the serum level of glucose, they causes lipolysis, they causes proteolysis for gluconeogenesis, they suppress the immunity of the person by mainly decreasing the number of lymphocytes. There are anti-inflammatory. They increases the sensitivity of blood vessel to the catecholamines, and in brain they control the mood, and they are also inhibitors of GnRH. So what is the clinical picture of patient who presents with Cushing syndrome? Mainly these are the exaggeration of these function of the cortisol. So increased level of glucose, and due to increased level of glucose there will be increase in the production of insulin, but there is a significant increase in the level of glucose, मतलब कि ग्लूकोज का लेवल ज़्यादा इंक्रीज हो रहा है, प्रोडक्शन ऑफ इंसुलिन उसको कंपनसेट नहीं कर पा रही. इस वजह से पर्सन को क्या होता है, एड्रीनल डायबिटीज मेलाइटिस. ओके, so there will be hyperglycemia, and symptoms of hyperglycemia will appear, like glucose will begin to appear in the urine, there will be polydipsia, there will be polyphagia, and there will be weight gain. Okay, there is lipolysis. Now an important point to be mentioned, that I mentioned that cortisol increases the mobilization of free fatty acid. Okay, And important point is it increases the redistribution of fat. For example, it increases the redistribution of fat from the lower part of the body to the upper part of the body. Now, upper part of the body, at the upper part of the trunk, neck, and the lower part of the face, and it's responsible for moon face like appearance, buzzword for the Cushing syndrome, and in the posterior part of the neck, causing humpback, and it may also lead to truncal obesity. So due to redistribution of fat from the lower part of the body to upper part of the body, it causes moon face like appearance and humpback. For protein, it, as I mentioned, that it causes the destruction of the muscular protein, and it is clear from that concept that if it causes the destruction of proteins, as the muscular protein decreases, it leads to thinning of the extremities. So proteolysis leads to thinning of extremities like appendages. Okay, thinning of the appendages or extremities. And as I mentioned that it causes proteolysis, decreases the proteins. So since the collagen is also a protein, there will be a decrease in the level of collagen. Now what are the consequences of decrease in collagen? Number one, as we know that collagen is required for healing and scarring, there will be decreased healing, compromised healing. Collagen is also present in the tissues, in the subcutaneous tissue, and when there is a decreased collagen, there will be increased bruising. As the strength of the tissue is decreased, there will be increased bruising. Collagen, type 1 collagen is also present in the bone. When there is a decreased collagen, there will be osteoporosis, mean that the bone, there will be weakening of the bone, there will be osteoporosis. And the important one point is purplish stria. Why they are formed? The collagen is present in the subcutaneous tissue, maintaining their strength. When this collagen is absent, these subcutaneous tissue become weak, and when the skin is stretched from that point, for example, if the skin is stretched from the abdominal area, when the skin is stretched from abdominal area, it will lead to formation of purplish stria, as it causes the rupture of the subcutaneous tissue due to loss of their strength. The tissue rupture and leads to formation of purplish stria, which is also a hallmark of Cushing syndrome. Now, what is the effect of decrease? As I already mentioned that it suppresses the immunity of the person due to decrease in the number of lymphocytes. It makes the person immunocompromised, and hence it is susceptible to a large number of diseases. Now, it increases the sensitivity of alpha adrenergic receptors, increases the sensitivity of these blood vessels. Alpha adrenergic receptors are present on the blood vessels for the catecholamines like epinephrine. So when its sensitivity is increased, it causes vasospasticity and leads to increased blood pressure, i.e. leading to hypertension. That appears in early stages of the Cushing syndrome. It also inhibits the release of GnRH from in the person and causing amenorrhea in female and testicular dysfunction in male, like loss of maturation of the sperms. Now, cortisol receptors are also present in the brain, which are responsible for mood stabilization. So, Changes in the mood will occur due to hypercortisolism and leading to psychosis. So, as you see that all the clinical features associated with the Cushing syndrome are mainly an exaggerated picture of the normal physiological function of cortisol. For example, glucose leads to hyperglycemia and leads to the development of symptoms associated with hyperglycemia like polydipsia, polyphagia, weight gain, glycosuria. There is redistribution of fat from the lower part to the upper part due to increased mobilization of free fatty acids and causing moon face and humpback due to destruction of proteins in the muscles leading to thinning of the extremities and muscle weakness, make the person immunocompromised and make him susceptible to various diseases, increase the blood vessels sensitivity to the catecholamines causing hypertension, changes in the level of GnRH leading to amenorrhea and testicular dysfunction, and changes in the brain leading to psychosis, and due to decrease in the collagen level leading to decreased healing, impaired healing, bruising, osteoporosis and purplish stria. This point is very important. Due to loss of collagen in the subcutaneous tissue, the subcutaneous tissue become weak and easily rupture on stretch and leads to formation of purplish stria. Now, what is the diagnosis of the Cushing's disease? इस बारे में थोड़ी सी बात कर लेते हैं. Number 1, high level of cortisol detected in the urine. Cortisol in the urine. Dexamethasone suppression test. Now, what is the concept behind this test? जैसे कि मैं इस लेक्चर में स्टार्ट में बता चुका था कि पिट्यूटरी ग्लैंड से CRH मतलब क्या होगा, सबसे पहले हाइपोथैलेमस होता है, उसके नीचे पिट्यूटरी ग्लैंड होगा और फिर एड्रीनल ग्लैंड है. ठीक है, तो जो हाइपोथैलेमस है वो CRH रिलीज करता है जो कि पिट्यूटरी ग्लैंड पे एक्ट करता है, एंटीरियर पिट्यूटरी पे, एंड स्टिमुलेट द रिलीज ऑफ ACTH which in turn act on the adrenal gland. So if we are giving dexamethasone from outside, it will cause negative feedback inhibition of the release of ACTH. Okay, it will inhibit the release of ACTH, so the level of ACTH will decrease. Now dexamethasone is done, the suppression test is done to find out the cause of Cushing syndrome. If it is caused by pituitary adenoma, pituitary adenoma Cushing syndrome occurred due to high level of ACTH produced from the pituitary gland. So if we give dexamethasone, there will be a decrease in the production of ACTH level, so there will be fall in the level of ACTH if Cushing syndrome is caused by pituitary adenoma. But if it is caused by ectopic production of ACTH, there will be no decrease in the level of ACTH. Since ACTH is produced from some other source, so dexamethasone mainly decreases by negative feedback inhibition, decreases the release of ACTH from pituitary gland. So in pituitary adenoma it decreases the release of ACTH, but in ectopic ACTH production there will be no decrease in the level of ACTH. And the last one is the imaging. For example, MRI of pituitary gland to see pituitary adenoma, CT scan of abdomen, chest is done to, or pelvis is done to find pelvis and thyroid gland. It is done to find out whether there is an whether there is a neoplastic growth, for example, which is responsible for ectopic production of ACTH, and CT scan of adrenal gland. Here I would like to mention a point कि जब एक पर्सन में Cushing syndrome है due to adrenal neoplastic growth. For example, adrenal adenoma. When there is adrenal adenoma, there is production of large amount of cortisol. Now, when there is production of large amount of cortisol by negative feedback inhibition, it decreases the production of ACTH. अब होगा क्या कि मैंने ये एक बेसिक प्रिंसिपल है कि व्हेन द सेल बिकम न्यूप्लास्टिक दे बिकम इंडिपेंडेंट ऑफ द ग्रोथ फैक्टर. ठीक है, तो अब जो टिश्यू जो जोना फेसिकुलाटा है, जोना फेसिकुलाटा है वो इंडिपेंडेंट हो चुका है ACTH का. ठीक है, ये जो एड्रिनल ग्लैंड है जिसमें न्यूप्लास्टिक ग्रोथ है वो क्या हो गया, इट इज इंडिपेंडेंट ऑफ ACTH. सो इधर there is a decrease in the serum level of ACTH, but it does not causes the atrophy of the zona fasciculata. But जो दूसरी एड्रिनल ग्लैंड होगा वो अभी भी ACTH पे डिपेंड करता है फॉर इट्स फंक्शन. सो देयर विल बी एट्रोफी ऑफ द कॉन्ट्रालेटरल एड्रिनल ग्लैंड. ठीक है, तो जो पेशेंट है जिसमें पिट्यूटरी एड्रिनल एडिनोमा है उसमें क्या होगा, हाई लेवल ऑफ कोर्टिसोल होगा जो कि पिट्यूटरी ग्लैंड पे एक्ट करके डिक्रीज करेगा प्रोडक्शन ऑफ ACTH. मतलब हाई लेवल ऑफ कोर्टिसोल along with low level of ACTH is seen in the person with adrenal adenoma. तो ये ACTH जो है इस पे तो कोई इफेक्ट नहीं कर पाएगा क्योंकि सेल न्यूप्लास्टिक हैं और वो अब इंडिपेंडेंट हो चुके हैं. जो कॉन्ट्रालेटरल एड्रिनल ग्लैंड होगा उसकी वो एट्रोफी करवा देगा. ठीक है, तो इन पेशेंट में ACTH का लेवल पहले से कम होता है. इन दो पेशेंट में ACTH का लेवल ज़्यादा होता है जिसको हम डिफ्रेंशिएट करते हैं बाय डेक्सामेथासोन सुप्रेशन टेस्ट. सो दिस इज ऑल अबाउट द कुशिंग सिंड्रोम. Hope you will find this lecture helpful. Kindly subscribe to my channel, like the video and also comment any suggestion about the lecture. Jazakallah.